What's up, guys? Break 19. I'm Big Ken. This is a Break 19. And the Break 19, I pretty much talk about whatever I want to talk about. Got the red light on. I don't give a fuck. So, pretty much what I want to talk about today is Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump good for America? Long term? Yes. Why? Well, America's in rebuilding. Let's face it, America needs to rebuild badly. Our country has been doing the same old shit for a while. Everything's falling apart. We don't make anything. Our kids are poorly educated in the real world, highly educated in the college world, which is already overcrowded, and we're not dealing with the real reality. I mean, we have more of a need for plumbers than we do engineers. We push out like you'll still see like 60s baby boomers say, we get 1 million engineers a year, and India has 12 million. Like we don't need that many engineers. We don't need 1 million in India. I mean, it's a country of 1 billion people. They probably need more. They're building an infrastructure. We're maintaining one. Our country is way, 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 way too liberal, and our country is headed in the wrong direction as far as education because we're not teaching our kids practical, real education. We're teaching them fantasy education. You're going to be CEO. You're going to be, some type of millionaire, billionaire bullshit. And that's not realistic. I mean, conservative values are important because they keep America, they create the base, they're the bricks. Liberals are important because they keep us from being too rigid, to where we, fuck up our future. Like environmentalism and, things like that. But the problem sometimes is we can become too liberal, like we've been for a while, or we can become too conservative. And then you get a wild card like Donald Trump and another wild card like Bernie Sanders. And both of these guys bring a completely new way of doing things. And they would have created stagnation and infighting, but it will break up the monotony, break up the things we're doing wrong. So before we can rebuild this country, you got to tear it down. And I think that's what we're seeing with Donald Trump. So don't worry. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that the Muslim ban or any of those things are good, but it's like it's not making people, think of, things in a realistic sense. Like if you notice, you don't see all that coverage you used to see on Chicago anymore, do you? You don't see it anymore. Why not? Chicago was dying and everything. No, it was overcovered. Don't get me wrong, South Side of Chicago's bad, but it's no different than Detroit or any other impoverished minority place with gun violence and drugs. Right? It was just overcovered. And it's like Trump, in a way, in his own roundabout way of saying he's going to send the military, has stopped a lot of that. And for once, the government is actually more focused probably on environmental issues and education issues and immigration issues, and everybody's focused on that for once, instead of just focused on bullshit. And let's be honest, if this was Hillary Clinton president as usual, we'd all be focused on bullshit, right? Like last week, like it was 2 days ago, I'm watching NBC. And there's a guy on there, and he's talking about, they changed the name of a school because this man supported racism or something. And I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck. Like, what? You can't change history. Like, yes, bad people sometimes do good things. They do. They do. Martin Luther King was a world-changing man, and I wouldn't have a job today or live my life as good as it is without Martin Luther King and all those black people who supported him that we don't talk about, and all those white people who supported him who we don't talk about. But without that guy and that movement, I wouldn't have that. That still doesn't mean Martin Luther King didn't cheat on his wife. Doesn't change that. Nobody's 100% good. Right? We're all people, man. We're all capable of really bad shit in the world, and we're all human. So if we have to be realistic. It's like people should look at Martin Luther King's flaws as a challenge. If a guy who cheated on his wife can change the world, the lives of many minorities, black people in particular, right? well, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? That's a challenge to me. Because when somebody's real, when we don't take history and we don't allow it to become these superheroes, they're just people with flaws like anybody else. All of a sudden, the story becomes, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And I think when you look at Trump, he's forcing regular people to think about that. Because now, it's, in a sense, he's creating that threat. You know, he's creating that problem. And when you live in an entitled country that lives off World War II like we do, and in some ways we need a problem. We need a wild card. We need somebody to mix it up. You know, it would have been better if we had Bernie Sanders being the person that mixed it up. But let's be honest, had it been Hillary Clinton, there would be no mix-up. It'd be business as usual. Yeah, we talk about global warming, right, but what the fuck will we do about it? Same shit we've always done, right? Yeah, it's bad. It's 50 degrees in November. Oh, well. Right. Now people are riled up. People are realizing it's become an important thing. So in the long run, I really think, I say all that Donald Trump is going to be good for us. Even when I look at education, like, people are finally realizing, it's funny, I was talking to somebody about this, that originally education was not about Ivy League. You know, it wasn't about it. It was about teaching a carpenter how to read, because that was the realistic thing you could do. And a carpenter could get a job making furniture, doing floors, or doing anything. And that's what we should be teaching our kids. We need to get out of this college kick. Don't get me wrong. Go to college if you're academic. Go to college if you're that kind of person. But the overwhelming majority of college graduates suck balls because they're not academics. They're not. We got a lot of carpenters, mechanics that we literally need. And I know people go, oh, well, what about all the immigrants? They can do that. We don't have any immigrants. The richest man in the world does not live in the United States of America. It's a fucking fact. Anyway, it's rambling on some thoughts, but I think long term, the challenges with Trump will make America actually better. And who knows, maybe we'll be great again. Break 1-9.